your ass down. I keep tabs on you. Don't worry
He's
about
a
it.
good hacker, too.
No, I mean, Chris Cornell was a guest on my show many times.
What a great guy, huh?
Fantastic guy.
I didn't know him that well.
Right.
I was a huge Chris Cornell fan, and I knew him a little bit.
Soundgarden, yeah.
Yeah, my first concert ever when I was in high school was Soundgarden at the Greek Theater in Berkeley.
What a cool concert to be your first concert. Mine's like 1910 Fruit Gum. I think Spanky and our gang are from 1910 Fruit Gum Company.
I don't know Spanky. And our gang.
like really like shitty stuff.
I do have a cool first concert. I later had some not so cool concerts. I won't even say who they are.
What is the worst concert you ever went to?
Come on, let me hear. I don't want to say.
The coolest concert
I said like in college when I was at UCLA, I did go to a Fish concert, which, is...
Do you have any interest in that?
Not really. It's like, it's sort of like everybody that used to probably go to the Grateful Dead and are like, we just got to keep it going.
Were you bored out of your skull?
It was, I think I was... I was not high out of my skull. Maybe by contact high, but yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
so why do you go to a Fish concert and you don't even smoke weed?
Well,
there's
it's weird.
No reason.
Like I used to read about the people who'd go to Dead concerts because I was not a big Dead fan, but they'd go and they'd.
I like the Dead.
You do, yeah.
They're from my hometown.
Are they?
Palo Alto.
Well, the weird thing you'd read is like everyone would do, acid or mushrooms and stuff. And I go, well, yeah, you have to because you couldn't possibly sit there all day. And
they have some good songs.
What's their best song?
Trucking.
Friend of the Devil.
That's pretty good. Working Man's Dead was their best album.
Yeah.
But getting back to the Fish concert and everything, what I'm saying to you is Chris Cornell, your first concert and all that. So how do you end up at the, which is essentially his funeral service, if you didn't know him that well?
I later met Chris because, strangely, his brother-in-law was producing a movie that I don't even want to talk about what it was. Actually, it's online, so it doesn't matter. For a second, and I didn't do it. For a second, I was going to do this movie about Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Oh, yeah.
Very dark movie, as you can imagine. And
would you have played Richard Ramirez?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's actually a really fascinating book called Night Stalker, and Chris Cornell's brother-in-law had the rights.
I see.
And so I met with Chris and his brother, and he was the sweetest guy. And I brought up the concert, and like there was this movie that they had made, and they played at the concert. It was like this little 16 millimeter thing, and there's like this kid on a bicycle being chased down by like these weird like rockers in a car. And I was like, Chris, what is that? He's like, oh, I remember that. And like there was this song, little known song they had called Night Surfing, and he like turned me on to that again. And he was just
a down to earth human being. I had
so
Bono and The Edge on yesterday. They were down to earth, and you don't expect guys like that to be down. But
I think because I've had a little bit of this myself. I'm obviously not a rock star, but like there's this new thing. My reps are going to be like, oh man, he's promoting that thing again. He's not even it. There's this new documentary. You are going to love it if you haven't seen it. It's called Jim and Andy.
Yes,
it's about when Jim Carrey played Andy Kaufman in Man on the Moon.
Right.
There's footage from 20 years ago when he was doing it, where he's like so deep into character. Jim Carrey is gone, right? And then there's an interview with him later, and it's like, my guess is Bono and Cornell and Carey, like you get to a point where Jim says it in the doc, he's like, you achieve everything that you thought that you wanted was going to make, and you thought that was going to make you happy. And you realize, oh, that's not it. Like the satisfaction of my instincts or my drive for success or power or just to be loved, like all those things. That's sort of not the end.
Is your theory that Chris Cornell killed himself because he achieved everything he needed to achieve?
No, wait.
That wasn't what you were trying to say?
And it didn't satisfy him? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what happened on that night because he seemed, what I'm saying is the Chris that I knew was incredibly serene and peaceful and gentle and giving. And the speeches at his funeral, like, Brolin gave an incredible speech. They were good buddies, and everything you heard, it was just like he was just the most gentle, giving guy. So,
was there music at the service? Did people get up and perform his songs?
There was a little music. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But no, what stood out for me was Brolin's speech and just how
James
he
Brolin.
wasn't. No, Josh Brolin.
I mean, Josh Brolin, right? The father's James, right?
Yeah.
And I guess what I'm getting at is he was like one of the best, in my head, one of the best rock stars,
Absolutely.
grunge stars ever.
Yeah.
What a voice. What a creative, spirit. But he didn't fall into the cliche of like
Being an asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I heard it
And
was I heard it was Christian Bale was there, Brad Pitt.
Brad was there. Yeah.
That's some crew he drew.
Yeah.
That shows you. He was like very beloved. You don't get those guys out of bed for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Brad's another guy who's so sweet.
Is he?
He's another guy that does not fall into like the cliche of,
I met him once somewhere, but he was giving me like the brush off.
Well, he probably was like,
give me some attitude.
He probably was going off your old reputation. Like guys that don't know you, guys that don't come on here, they probably think like you're the old Stern.
Well, what do you mean the old Stern? I'm Stern.
Wait a minute. What you said about Brad Pitt would keep people away.
Really?
Really?
I don't even know the guy. What would I really know about him?
Well,
he's the sweetest dude. And you know who's your biggest fan?
Who?
You probably know this.
I don't know this.
Jonah Hill.
Oh, Jonah's on all the time.
We have Jonah on.
Yeah, we know that.
But but when he's not here, he's just like, oh, Stern. I love Stern. He's the best interviewer.
I like Jonah a lot.
Yeah.
Anyone
and
likes
he's
me,
close with Brad.
Right.
Maybe Jonah's your way to Brad.
Well, Brad was a fan. So I'm sure he heard what Howard
I think Brad
said.
is just incredibly.
Tell me get over it.
He's an incredibly private guy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to have to talk about himself.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to you fascinate me because in a lot of ways, you're the hardest working guy in show business. People don't know that. No, you are.
Who has superseded you?
No.
Who's harder working than you?
I think Michael Shannon.
No,
he's
he
in
isn't.
every single movie.
No, you are in every single. No, you are. Let me tell you about you.
No, but let me. You can look at the record, IMDb, whatever it says.
Right.
The past year, I only worked as an actor for 2 weeks on a Coen Brothers project.
Right. Which Coen Brothers movie was that?
It's called The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. It's sort of an anthology movie that's going on Netflix.
This was a Spielberg or Coen? Was it just the Coen Brothers? Just the Coen Brothers. Do they bust balls when you're on set?
Oh, no.
Yeah?
No, they're great.
You don't get nervous when you work with like the Coen Brothers?
I was a little nervous because they're like my favorite.
Right.
But they're not what you think. They're super chill, relaxed.
You don't have to lobby for a part. They come to you, right, at this point in your career? I mean, you're an Academy Award nominee.
I met with them a couple times.
Right.
And I met with them on No Country. The great Josh Brolin got it.
So
I
you were
knew
up for
them.
that part?
Yeah, I
Wow.
love that. Yeah, that's such a great movie. Brolin was probably better than I would have been.
I don't know about that.
Okay,
You're being too modest.
No, he's great. That was his comeback role.
Right.
He was great in that.
Well, what's with you as an actor? Talk to me about this because like now you directed your new movie, right?
Yes.
And we're going to get into this because this is a fucking crazy movie.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I watched
Thank you.
it.
Yes,
It was
thank you.
just
You do
Say it's
out
a
of
great
this
movie.
world.
It is a great movie. You directed this movie, but you're also in character, right? And like even when like
But-
Seth Rogen says, when you would be on set, you're doing the fucking character, but you're being you, the director. How can you direct a movie while you're in character?
I know. So Seth and I have talked about it. I think we didn't know it. We didn't realize it at the time, but afterwards we're like, wait, that was so crazy. When in Hollywood history has the director acted in his own movie, playing a director, acting in his own movie,
Well,
and
think about
stayed in
this.
character? Now, somebody at the Academy screening was like, Clint Eastwood, White Hunter, Black Heart. But I don't think, and he was sort of playing John Huston.
Right.
My guess is Clint was not, in character when he was
But
directing.
the character you play in this movie, let me explain to people who don't know about it. There's a movie called The Room.
Yeah.
It was a movie.
Citizen Kane, a bad movie.
Yeah, it's a really bad movie that this guy who James
He's
plays.
here, by the way. So
Is
be
he?
careful.
Oh, good. I want to talk to him.
Yeah, well,
He
this
seems
is
like-
going to be great.
He seems like a real character.
For sure.
This guy, you play a character named Tommy Wiseau. Or
Wiseau.
Wiseau. Tommy is a guy who wants to be an actor badly. He puts up somehow $6 million of his own money,
which is the scariest of the three mysteries. About Tommy.
And when I get him in here, I'll crack the mystery.
Well, okay, good.
I will.
Okay, good.
But you play this character, and Tommy has a very strange accent. Can you do the accent now?
Of course,
Go
I
ahead,
can
get
do
into
accent.
character. Let me talk to the character that you play. Yeah. You made a movie, is that right?
When he gets in here, we'll both do.
Yeah, Tommy, you made a movie.
I make movie. Which one? The Room?
Yeah, The Room. You made that, right?
Oh, yeah.
You like making movie? I mean, you like making the movie?
I love movie. I make movie. When I make movie, I intend to make Tennessee Williams level drama.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So he talks like that.
Yeah.
So because you're an actor who stays in character,
yes,
which I can see why you got to put on this accent.
Yes.
So when you start to direct people, you're in that character. So you're like, hey, I want you to
half the words are left out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
that's
then what a
part of it.
bizarro you are in a way, right?
So Seth couldn't handle it. Like the first day, because Seth produced it as well. So
Right.
the first day he didn't have to, thank God I didn't have any acting duties. So like he just couldn't come to set. It was just like, I can't take this, and he
Did he talk to you and say and complain to you that, look, this is a very difficult movie for me to be in because you're in character all the time? And then as the character, do you start yelling at him about it?
No, because I didn't do Jim Carrey, Andy Kaufman, right? In that documentary, you see like Jim Carrey is messing with Jerry Lawler, the wrestler, like as if he's Andy Kaufman. He's not coming out. Milos Forman, the director, is calling him up and saying, please, can I have Jim back? And he's like, well, yeah, we can fire Andy and Tony Clifton and Jim can come and maybe do an impression. Is that what you want? You know, I wasn't like that. Like Seth and the producers could come to me and ask like,
but this is some type of acting technique that you learned, right? This method acting in a sense.
I didn't even really think about it. It was more like I had 2.5 hours of prosthetics every morning. And it was just sort of like people treated me differently. It was just sort of like there were 4 levels going on. It was just simpler to just stay the dude.
Talk to me about this. Talk to me about this.
Okay,
when you were a young boy and you wanted to become an actor, right?
Yes.
You had a job at McDonald's.
Yes.
Is that correct?
When I was 18, yeah.
When you were
I dropped
18.
out of UCLA and worked at McDonald's.
Right. You were working at McDonald's.
Yes.
And in order to perfect your acting technique.
I did accents, yes. Now, you know what?
Let me tell people what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You were working at McDonald's.
Yes.
The
drive-through, 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
And you would perfect your accents by sitting there and talking. Someone say, can I have a fries and a hamburger? And you would try different accents to see if you could legitimately pull it off. Is that correct?
They were all bad, right?
So if I walk up and
anybody.
Can I have a burger and 2 burgers, a fry and a shake?
It'd be like, hey, I'll get you the hamburger.
Who the fuck are you? What country am I in?
So that's basically the response.
Yeah.
So all my accents were bad. But this year, I came out with The Disaster Artist and HBO show with David Simon, The Deuce, where I play these twins from Brooklyn.
Yes.
The only 2 accents that maybe worked were my Brooklyn accent, right? I did that one worked. I actually took a woman out on a date. I picked her up in the drive-thru. We went out to see Titanic, and it was like,
wait a second. Wait, you're claiming when you were 18 and you were working at McDonald's, a woman comes to the drive-thru window.
Yeah.
You are doing an accent. What accent were you doing?
The Brooklyn one worked. I kept that one up.
What is your Brooklyn accent?
I got people
here. Hi, handsome. I want a fries.
I'm doing it. You can't. I'm doing it right now. What are you talking about?
Okay. So the girl, you pick up the girl at the drive-thru window because you're good looking. I worked at drive-thru window.
Well, it worked with the horrible Italian one too. It's just that I couldn't follow up on that. She was like, oh, you're Italian. Maybe you can give me some Italian lessons. I'd be like, of course, I give you the Italian lesson. I give you a call, but of course I couldn't give her the lessons.
To perfect your acting technique, when you work at McDonald's, you then pick up these women, you go out on dates with them, and you stay in character.
One woman.
You stay in character.
And then I had to break it to them.
Yeah. How do you break it to them? What do you say?
Because they would call the house, the apartment.
Yeah.
And I'd answer, and I'd just be like, hello. They'd be like,
who are you?
James? I'd be like, oh, hey, how's it going? And then it was sort of like, hey, I have to tell you something. I'm not really from Brooklyn. And then that was it.
I'm like that in my school. Yeah, because you are being dishonest.
I was an imposter. Yeah.
Right.
So even though everything I said, was me, it was just through this other like character, this facade. She didn't like it.
See, only a good-looking guy would risk losing a girl through being dishonest with his accent. If I got a girl,
if you just had a date, you're like, I'm not losing this.
No, I'm not doing any accent. Forget about it.
Well, you probably use the comedy.
But here's my point with you.
Any funny guy can get a date.
Yeah. Except if you look like this. if you're
looking good.
Really?
Yes.
Tell me more.
You're the little growth. That,
I got that growth going. Yeah,
it's good.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you appreciate that.
But the only other, what I realized is my accents, the other accents, the Italian, whatever else I did, Irish or whatever, was so bad. I was actually preparing for the Tommy Wiseau.
You didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So when for example, early in your career, you played the legendary actor James Dean, right?
Yeah.
And you went so deep into the fucking character that you smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I
did.
Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a Trivial Pursuit question. Back when people played Trivial Pursuit.
Right. I mean, did you really need to go that deep into it that you had to smoke 2 packs a day? And then you learned to ride a motorcycle, you played guitar, you played bongos, you became James Dean.
Yes.
Do you need to go that far?
I even I had a car that was handed down to me from my grandfather's Nissan Stanza. I did a little drag race like on Ventura Boulevard with my friend to get into the character.
Do we need
and it
to
broke
do that?
the car.
To be a great actor, do I need to become the guy? Do I need to smoke 2 packs a day?
No, here's the thing. I think every young actor needs a part where they just go too far. Right. You just go farther than you need to go.
Is this what you tell your class when you teach acting?
Not really, but like, I'll talk about it in interviews. I was talking about this with my brother the other day. I did a movie not long after James Dean where I played a homeless heroin addict and De Niro's son. This movie, City by the Sea. It's okay, but it was a big deal for me at the time. I was playing De Niro's son. He was my hero.
Did you try heroin for that role?
No, I did not try heroin.
Yes, you did.
No.
Admit it here.
I didn't. No, what I did is I went down to downtown Los Angeles. There are these missions where you can, it's a 90-day program for people recovering, but you can get a bunk for the night if you wait in line.
And you lived in the homeless shelter?
I went in there. They give you a shower. They delouse you. You go into a service. I went in there with my friend Raymond, and then they feed you, right? We're sitting there, and like the chicken they give us would look bad.
It's still alive.
It was almost like blue, right? But everybody there was eating it,
of course,
because they were hungry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Raymond, eat the chicken. Like, I'm not eating this. I'm like, Raymond, I don't want to get caught. Like, eat the chicken.
I'm in character over here,
I'm like pretending to think. Right. And then you get a bunk and you go in and strangely, so they all stay, you're in a big room with like 40 guys.
Do you think you're crazy?
No.
Because listen to me, that is a real commitment to go to
that was my Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman.
You are way into this acting.
And now I was talking to my brother about it.
Yeah.
Just the other day. My brother, he's 7 years younger than I am, but he's in some ways like a lot wiser. And he's just like.
He an actor?
Yeah. He's in the movie with me.
He plays his best friend.
Oh, that's your brother?
Yeah.
I didn't know
that's
that.
Dave Franco.
That's your brother?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Good looking guy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very handsome.
And he's like, yeah, but, James, did you really have to, like, go stay in that mission to play that role? And it's sort of like, well, maybe not. Maybe I would have been just as good. But I think as a young actor, it's good to have those experiences.
It shows you care. But now do you think as you get older, you can take certain parts and not have that level of commitment, or you care too much and you've got to do that?
I've learned how to focus what I'm doing. So I don't need to waste energy just doing all these exercises, like, just to sort of say I did this, like on a show like this, like, yeah, I prepared so much. I went and, I gained 40 pounds, whatever. Like, I know sort of how to work with the director, or if I'm the director, I know how to sort of like do the right kind of preparation.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There's still research.
For sure. Yeah. For this role, I did a lot of research.
But you earned a pilot's license when you had to play an airline.
Exactly. So there's an example. It's like,
what was the movie? Flyboys?
Yeah.
Flyboys.
Why are you bringing up Flyboys?
Why?
Anyway, I did get my pilot's license.
Embarrassed by Flyboys?
It's not my best, but it's okay. I mean, it's okay.
How long does it take for you to get a pilot's license so that you can authentically play a pilot?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
That's a big commitment.
A huge commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get there.
Yeah.
And they're like, James, you can't fly these planes. The insurance will never let you fly.
It was a big waste of time.
It's like, yeah.
But
I'm glad I got the pilot's license. That's
you still fly?
No, I didn't keep it up.
You didn't keep it
I
up.
wish I had.
But what a commitment to go and learn. I mean, a director's got to appreciate that you care.
Well, the director, Tony Bill, I actually just talked to him. He just saw The Disaster Artist and loved it. He was a big pilot.
Is that what you do when you make a movie? Do you show it to directors and say, to directors you respect? You get them in a room and say, hey, what do you think?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, he just saw it on his own.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of people are going out to see this movie.
Will you get an Academy Award nomination for this new movie, The Disaster
I don't
Artist?
know. If we do, I'll say this.
Go ahead.
And just the fact that you asked me that question and the fact that Tommy Wiseau, the real guy, is coming.
Yeah, I got to bring him in, by the way.
He kept his movie, The Room, in theaters for 2 weeks on his own dime to qualify for the Oscars. So the fact that we are even having this conversation and the guy is coming in here is just amazing to me. It's a great full circle.
Before I bring in the great Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
Wiseau.
Whatever. Tommy Wiseau. Sorry, Tommy.
He's really excited to be here, by the way.
What is going on with you personally? Now, let me tell you my premise here.
Okay.
You're a guy who teaches a class in college. By the way, one of the most fun things I ever did was I went on where students review teachers.
Oh, God.
And like you either get, hey, this fucking guy, he doesn't take it seriously enough, or you get like, oh my God, from chicks, he's so hot. And
me?
So the guys hate him, the girls love him?
Yeah, no. But I mean, you get different things. You know, the
they
students
didn't say he's so hot. I had grad students.
Yeah, but they were like, he's so hot, and he doesn't make the class too hard.
That must have been my one undergrad class.
Well, you're teaching classes. Listen to this.
They're serious students. They don't give a crap.
You're writing novels. You're shooting movies. What did you have like 16 to 18 projects going right now.
No.
You're
I told
painting.
you 2 weeks I acted this year.
Yeah,
2
but
weeks.
I mean, what are you doing with your life?
That's all the old stuff.
Are you stopping to smell the roses at all? You are?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Are you?
That's what this year has been.
But how do you do all? You're in a ukulele group that plays once a week in West Hollywood.
Smelling the roses.
Talk about a waste of time.
I'm not trying to become
why would you play
the Chris Cornell of ukulele. I'm just doing that for fun.
Why out of the cool instruments would you take up ukulele?
Because I'll tell you exactly why.
Yeah.
It's not a cool instrument. There's no desire to become, the best ukulele player ever. It's just like fun.
You like having fun.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I respect you. Like right after, I think it was after your Academy Award nomination, or maybe even during, you went and worked on a soap opera.
Yeah.
Because you said, fuck this. I've never worked on a soap opera. Yeah. I want to see what I can get out of that. I want to see
General Hospital. Yeah.
General Hospital.
Yeah.
How many fucking guys in Hollywood would do that? They would say, I'm an Academy Award nominee. I'm not going on.
I have an image
That was
now.
an interest. Yeah.
I respect
You like the old James. I'm telling you, there's a new James.
What is the new James?
He's slowing down.
Look at you.
He's doing fewer things, and he's putting more care and attention in.
Do you have a personal life now? Do you have
Yes,
you have
for the first time in my life.
How could a woman be in a relationship with you? Your first love is all this acting and writing.
I told you 2 weeks. And now I have time for everything.
Do you have a woman? You do.
6 months.
Look at you.
Yeah.
What?
Good. Yeah.
Got to be an actress, right?
No.
Interesting.
No. I'll tell you what.
That's so James
Living
Franco.
Together?
That is so James Franco, not to date an actress.
I had a set of ideals that I wrote down, and
core values.
It wasn't. What's that?
Core values.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Smart, could take care of herself, all these things.
Right.
And then one of them was it wasn't an absolute, but I was like, well, it'd be better if she wasn't an actress. And then I met her. I was like, I put the energy out and to the universe, and I was like, just let me meet the right person. And I ran into her in a parking garage, which sounds a little creepy.
Did you know right away she was the right person?
I think so. She claims she didn't give me a smile. But I was driving out. She gave me this big smile, and I was driving away, and I was like, it's like all those songs or whatever. It's just like, did I just pass the one in the street? And I was like, oh, all right, don't drive away. Just stop. No, it's a little creepy, but I was just like, look.
When you look like you, girls don't think it's creepy.
It might be the one.
When you look like Harvey Weinstein, it's creepy.
Outside the parking garage.
Yeah.
And she pulled out, and I was like, hey.
Right.
And then she's like, what? Is that him? And then I just asked her to coffee, and we had like
Is
coffee.
this in L.A.? L.A. or New York?
Yeah, in L.A.
Okay.
And then, and so we had our first date. It was an hour-long coffee.
She got right in the car with you and went.
No.
She followed you.
Like a week later.
Okay,
no, a week
gotcha.
later.
Got her digits.
I was a gentleman. Just total gentleman.
You guys texted for a week?
I didn't even do a lot of texting. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get to know her in person.
Right.
And we went on this date, just had coffee. And then now we've been, and then it worked out, obviously. But I was always, I love taking photos.
And she has a regular job?
Yeah. She was in publicity, and then she didn't like it. And so she went back to school. She was in grad school.
Okay.
And I take photos of everything. My mom,
I've seen you. I've seen your work. Yes.
No, I don't do Instagram anymore or anything like that. It's just for us.
Yeah.
But we didn't have any photos of our first date. And then a month after I realized that all these photos came out, the paparazzi got us. I was so unused to like just going on dates that I didn't even think like.
But you were probably happy now. You had photographs of your first date.
It was like the one time I was happy for some paparazzi because we had a record of our first date. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
So if I go online, I can check her out.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Look at you all happy with a big smile on your face.
Yeah.
This is a new James Franco.
It's good. Yeah.
Look at you in a committed relationship.
Well, what happened to make you a new James Franco?
Therapy.
Therapy has helped.
Yes.
A year ago, it was a series of events, but I just hit a wall, and it was like Jim Carrey says in the documentary. It was like, you have achieved everything. You worked with your heroes. You have a career. You have all this. Why are you working at such a furious rate? Like what? Where are you racing to, James? And then I realized it's like, oh, what are you running from, James? And Jim also, I love this documentary so much. It's like a weird analogy from my life. He talked about when he stopped playing Andy Kaufman, all of a sudden Jim came back, and he's like, I don't know who Jim is. All these feelings, Jim's feelings and Jim's problems came flooding back in. And that was sort of how it was with my career. It was like I took a step back and just stopped doing 5 million things at once. And it was like, oh, James came back in. Who is James? And I had to sort of
I like what you're saying. I like this notion that it wasn't like you were running towards something. You were running away from something.
Yeah.
You're running away from finding your real life because
100%.
You kept yourself with busy work. Not that the work wasn't important, but how many projects?
Some of it was busy. Just plain like
it was. Nonsense.
I did a lesbian vampire movie for Lifetime.
Yeah, you're obsessed with what do they call it? Queer art or something? What is this?
I was, I did a lot of movies where I played sort of. I played Allen Ginsberg. I played the poet Hart Crane. I was in Milk.
You were obsessed with gay movies.
I wasn't obsessed. It was just I thought they were interesting characters.
Yeah,
but,
great Milk was so great, wasn't it? That was some movie.
Yeah.
Look at you growing up. My little boy has grown up.
Thank you, Howard.
Yeah,
he's
I like
ready
this.
to be launched.
Thank you,
Howard. With a relationship. Who knows? Maybe marriage, kids. You ever fantasize about that?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What about
I'm ready.
What
I
about
wasn't ready before.
What about all those little grad students that think you're hot?
I'm not teaching anymore.
You know what? It is you're not. It's a very difficult thing when a guy who looks like you and you also have a big career and you got money and all of that. You got the whole package. It is hard to find the one because you can easily be seduced and you have a lot of options and choices.
I don't think for me it wasn't really about anyone else because you can sort of. Like, look, Chris Cornell, great dude. Bono, great dude. Like, you can be a good guy and be the most famous dude in the world.
Yes.
So for me, the lack of, basically growing up and finding someone was really on me. Like, I just wasn't ready.
Was it that you had to learn to say no to all of the things in your life, like that, you know, to really say no and not give in to your inner child in a way?
Well, it's like I was talking about. It's like, it's sort of like you learn, if you're lucky, welcome to the world. Nothing here is going to give you lasting happiness. You got to find out how to be okay with yourself without depending on anything outside of yourself.
So let's go to this new movie. Okay, because this is pretty crazy. We got to meet this guy. Stay with us here because this is pretty weird. The movie The Room, okay, was a classically bad movie. It was like one of those movies that comes along and it becomes a cult favorite. Everyone goes, have you ever seen The Room? And if you see The Room, it's like you can barely sit through it, but you sit through it because it's a train wreck.
You can't believe it's happening.
Right. But if you go to the theater and see it with one of the audiences that really know it and do all the rituals, it's amazing.
But your intent was, there was a book written about this movie. In other words, how did this movie...
The Disaster Artist.
Right, The Disaster Artist. You read the book, you decided to make a movie about it and play the life of Tommy.
Yeah.
So really what the part that you chose was to tell the audience, how the fuck did this really bad movie even get made, and who are these guys who made it, right? That's it. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, but what I saw in the book, the book was written by the other actor in the film, Greg Sestero, who my brother plays in our movie, and then this great journalist, Tom Bissell. And what they did was take a story about what is conventionally thought of as a failure and tell the story of every artist, you know, everybody with a dream, every outsider. These guys, Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero, had the same amount of passion and heart as I did when I was young.
Or Spielberg or anybody.
Exactly.
Right.
They had that. They dreamed as big as those guys.
How many guys have you met in Hollywood who all want to be actors, and some of them are just not that good at it, and they don't know it. Everyone else knows it. It's like in rock music. How many bands have failed because they didn't even know that they were bad?
Right.
But was the key to this movie getting made, the bad movie, The Room, was the key that Tommy somehow had money to finance it himself and no one knows how he got the money?
That's part of it, but, you know, he put it on the line.
He did.
I respect that. Like, he put his money on, you know, where his mouth was.
Right.
He put his heart and soul into it.
Right.
Whatever he says now, you know, now he says, you know, he intended to be comedy. And like, he'll say on here, you know, The Room is a safe place. You can laugh, you can cry, do whatever you like. Just don't hurt yourself.
Right.
That's what he says now.
Yeah.
He put not only his checkbook, but his heart on the line.
You respect Tommy.
He's a really sweet guy.
You respect him because he had passion and he put his heart on the line. It just turned out he didn't have that much talent.
That's the story that's the story we're telling.
Right.
The story of his heart. And that is something that I could relate to.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what people are surprised by. That you hear The Disaster Artist, a movie about the best, worst movie ever made, you think it's going to be a spoof. And in fact, it's the story of every artist.
So you still don't know how Tommy got the money together? You really know?
We can ask him. He's gonna, you ask him because
want me to find out some shit?
Well, because
I'm used to dealing with the whack pack.
I asked him.
Yeah.
I
can get it out.
He's gonna say, get it selling denim jeans and da 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 da. I'm like, Tommy,
stop.
You can't. You know, he's gonna say, James, you embarrass yourself. You don't know anything about retail. I'm like, dude, come on.
He had 2 apartments, was driving a Mercedes before he revealed that he had
selling Levi's jeans.
Yeah,
he wasn't a drug dealer. Do we know that? I don't know. You don't know anything about it. I was trying to figure it out myself.
The one thing I do know is the other 2 mysteries are how old he is.
Right.
I hate to blow him up, but he tried to use you have to use an ID to get into your building.
Uh-huh.
He tried to use a fake ID.
He's 12 years old. How old do you think Tommy is before we bring him in here? Let's.
I think he's in his 60s.
In his 60s, right? Yeah, he's got to be, right? What does he say he is?
Now we got to get that. We got to look at that fake ID.
Yeah. and so when you're directing a movie about Tommy, who's a character, he comes to the set to supervise or to watch you.
He came to the set One time.
Oh,
because in his contract, he was required to have a cameo in the movie.
Right.
He's coming in. He knows everything. He insisted that it be a scene opposite me. And I'm just thinking like, look, I love you, dude. And I want you in the movie.
Right.
Like it would be a cool Hitchcockian little turn to have him in the background, you know, somewhere.
Right.
But not opposite me. I'm playing you, dude. It's not going to make any sense.
Yeah, we're not looking to make another bad movie. We're trying to make a good movie.
And not on top of that, and he's got to admit this because I have it on record. He sent me a text like 3 days before he was going to come in to do his scene.
Yeah.
And he was in a Lens Crafters. There's glasses behind him. He's like, what you think of glasses for character? I'm like, oh, the glasses are fine. Good for character. He had drawn on a mustache with Bic pen, right? And a little soul patch.
He can fuck up any movie.
And I'm like, and he goes, if you like mustache, I draw it on better when we shoot. And I'm like, dude, I'll get you a fake mustache.
So dealing with a guy like this, it's a challenge, right? I mean, because
it was a challenge, but he actually was so sweet on the set. We didn't know what he was going to be like. He was really sweet. We did this scene. It was so bizarro. And then we had cut it out.
I see.
You know, because it didn't make sense.
Right.
Right?
He can't be in the movie.
Then, and I don't mind saying this because this is exactly what went down. He might rewrite history, but this is what went down. And then we recreated scenes from his movie, The Room, in our movie.
Right.
We were so proud of them that we decided we wanted to do a side-by-side comparison with his footage from The Room, right?
Yes.
But we hadn't negotiated for that footage. And so we had to go back to him to get the rights to that. And during that renegotiation, he said, well, how am I seen in the movie? And we're like, it's not in there.
Has his English not gotten any better, by the way?
No. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
The way I prepared for him partly was I had all these old recordings of him. He used to record everything. He'd record every phone conversation. He'd talk to himself in his car and record it. He knows I have these tapes.
Yes.
He calls them secret tape.
Yeah.
And then one of the tapes was him with his dialect coach trying to lose the accent. And so I have it, him like trying to, like, Tommy, don't roll your R. And he like, oh, okay, don't roll R.
Was it hard to get this movie made? I mean, did a lot of studios want to like say, hey, fuck you, we're not making a movie about it? No,
I mean, I did this right. I went to my old friend, Seth Rogen. We were actually making the interview at the time in Vancouver when I read the book 4 years ago. And I brought it to Seth and his company, Point Grey, Evan Goldberg and everyone. And I was like, guys, help me make this. Because I see how bizarre it is, how crazy it is. Yeah. But underneath, I see the potential for it reaching a bigger audience because it has a lot of heart. And I was like, dudes, I know how to make all my crazy little indie things. I need your touch. Yeah. And they did it. They took it to New Line. And it actually, at New Line, which is a part of Warner Brothers, there were all these fans of The Room.
Oh, so they were into it.
Yeah, they were into it. And they were super supportive.
Let me meet Tommy Wiseau.
Okay. Wiseau,
Robin. Let me see this guy. Let me deal with this, okay? Let me handle this. Let me see you.
Oh, my goodness.
There he is.
Tommy!
The famous Tommy. All right.
There he is.
Let me
he's
see.
still wearing
He's got the Red Bull. He's got the Red Bull.
You got that?
How many belts you wearing, Tommy?
Yeah, you look good, by the way. Very handsome. Tommy, pleasure to meet you.
And, by the way, I only bring this up. I don't want any sexual harassment charges, Tommy, but I can see that he's wearing Wiseau underwear.
Tommy.
His own underwear.
What is it like to have a movie of
before we started, this is for you, actually.
Thank you. What is that?
Something special. And this is for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Tommy Wiseau.
No, I mean, just
Tommy Wiseau dog tag.
Oh, there's a glass.
He's wearing
there,
Tommy Wiseau jeans too, by the way.
Tommy, let me talk to you.
All right.
You know, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, pleasure to meet you, and congratulations on having your movie made.
Let's shake our hands.
I'm afraid.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right,
Tommy.
Well, before we start, let me correct this. The fake ID. I strangle you, man.
Tommy, do you lie about your age? Is there a thing in Hollywood where you want to appear younger?
It's hard being an actor, dude. It's a young man's game.
Why lie at this point?
I'll be honest with you. I feel like I'm 34.
Right.
And that's number one. Number two, You see me in flash now. You decided what my age.
You look fabulous. I would say you're a guy in your 40s.
Beautiful skin.
Yeah, beautiful skin.
Thank you.
Beautiful long hair. You don't have a bit of gray.
No, it's real thing, right?
Tommy, you know, when people say to you, you made the worst movie ever, The Room, this and that, you're not insulted, I guess, right?
No.
But
I always say, as James said a few minutes ago, I was listening, you can laugh, you can cry, etc.
yeah.
As long as you have groovy time. That's important for me, you know?
Yeah, Tommy, let me ask you, the biggest mystery with you, and I would love to get the scoop.
Sure.
All right. You say that I would love to know the real Tommy, if I may attempt this.
Tommy, we're getting down to it now.
Yeah, excuse me, James, I'm talking now.
Okay, sorry.
All right. Tommy, you do obviously have an accent. You recognize
Yeah, sure,
that, right?
yeah.
And I know
I
you
speak
tell
French,
people
actually.
you speak French. So you were born in France.
No, I'm not.
Where are you from?
A long time ago.
Yeah, it's not New Orleans.
Actually, I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Understood.
I used to work.
But no one in New Orleans has an accent this
Well,
thick.
you should live in New Orleans.
Really?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So in other words, you're an American?
Yes, I am American. Very proud of it.
And born in America.
Uploaded by the World of Howard Stern channel.
Yeah.
No.
But, I'm part of it. I really don't like to talk about my life, actually.
Why, Tommy?
Because, it's my private choices, In America, we have choice.
But why, are you ashamed of where your background is?
Not at
Was there
all.
trauma in your life?
Well, we always, when you want to be an actor, you always have trauma. So
but was there an emotional trauma where you said, hey, I'm going to reinvent myself. I don't want to ever think about my childhood?
Yeah, you may say that. Yeah, that's put pretty well. I think that in America we have choices, and one of my choices is to say, hey, I'm American now, etc. Very open.
Where were you born?
Well, that's a good question.
I have a question.
You're good.
Where were you born? Seriously.
Tommy.
You're good.
France?
Skąd jesteś?
The what?
Skąd jesteś?
What does that mean, James?
Where are you from in Polish?
Oh. Are you from Poland? Is that? I mean, it's not a big deal.
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying.
Because I want to warn you.
People make a big deal. I don't understand.
I want to
And
warn
you're
you.
making a big deal, so just tell us where you're from.
Let it go.
All right, I'll let it go. But here's what you've got to realize, and I'm going to warn you.
Sure.
If this movie that James has put together so brilliantly,
He did a good job, actually.
he did a good job. You're happy with the movie?
I am, because you see, a lot of people don't. I understand what he did to the movie, how he created character. And I said this before, people don't realize when you go into somebody else's life, you go so deep. So it's very complexity.
But you didn't want him to play your part. You wanted the great, what's his name?
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Well, that was
He was your first choice?
That's correct, yes.
Johnny Depp should have played you.
Well, it's not a shouldn't, couldn't, whatever. The fact is that James took the sort of you optioned the book, number one. Number two, then we talked together with Greg as well as with him.
But I was your second choice.
Right, because based on the one.
Or did you have someone else in mind?
You want to talk about this? About me? That's fine. But anyway, long story short, he did a movie. It's called Sonny. SONNY.
Yes.
And this is
by
really
Nicolas
great
Cage.
movie.
Yeah.
I play a gigolo from New Orleans.
Right.
You saw that movie and you liked it and you felt that.
It's not just that I like it. I'm looking at this.
Did it remind you of yourself?
But here's the question.
Let me put my 5 cents. My God, you guys talking over me.
Speaking of 5 cents.
Wait a minute.
You're a wealthy man, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Right. If you put up when you made the movie The Room, which
I
is
can buy you.
Yes, you could.
No, I couldn't.
I wouldn't put up that kind of money for a movie. I'll be honest.
Why not?
You are a brave soul to put up.
Thank you.
Really, when I look at your life, and now that James has made me aware of your life,
Sure, thank you.
here's a guy who says, "I want to make a movie." You take $6 million of your own money, but nobody knows where this money comes from.
Well, it's very simple. That's the question I'm here to answer.
How did you make the money?
In real estate business and retail business.
What?
Your real estate and retail.
But how do you get the real estate?
You buy a building, you sell it. As simple as it is.
But how did you get the money to buy a building?
Well, work hard. You save money.
What did you work
What
at?
did you start at?
Give us the
Tommy,
history.
we know you started selling little
Yo-yos.
toy birds
Right.
in San Francisco.
And let's face it, you can't make a dime doing that.
Is that a good
Why
business?
Yeah.
You'll be surprised, actually.
I have a theory, and if I'm wrong, I don't want
No, let me finish. Wait
Go
a
ahead.
minute.
All right.
What are
Everybody
you
calm
finishing?
down. Yeah. What are we talking about?
I like you.
By the way, if you're nominated for an Oscar for playing Tommy, will you bring Tommy to the Oscars with
Yes.
Well, somebody asked me that. Too.
Yes. Tommy, do you want to go?
Absolutely, yes.
you? So
well, let me
But
finish.
you've been expecting to go for 14 and a half years now.
Yeah, thank you.
I love your laugh. It's infectious.
So let me respond to your question about money, everybody. And I'm serious about this. Retail business is a very complex business. He's
Absolutely.
laughing. He doesn't know nothing about this. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And also, I design stuff. You can go to TommyWiseau.com.
$6 million.
$6 million back in the. When
Worth
did you?
of
What
Tommy
year?
Wiseau
$6 million.
underwear?
What year was the room made? The movie.
2003, we started. That's what we released. But keep in mind, the room I was creating way back, the time when I graduated from Laney College in Bay Area.
But to have $6 million available to make a
Well,
movie.
let me tell you
is-
one thing. Can I tell you one thing?
Tell me.
Okay, you buy a building, let's say for $2 million, you sell it for $6 million.
Yes.
So you make $4 million. What about that?
But you still have to live.
Well, of
No, you
course
still have to have some
No.
money when you begin.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what we're wondering.
Well,
You
when
have to have $2 million to buy the first building. You know.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I started from selling and importing souvenir, San Francisco souvenir.
Yes.
And one of the, I don't know if you guys remember.
That's a lot of souvenirs.
Yeah, because I don't think souvenirs
you're not
cost
buying it,
that
are you?
much.
By the way,
Okay,
Tommy
wait
has
a
given me
minute.
this whole spiel about the retail
Souvenir.
But
No, souvenir,
I was in San Francisco last week. I went jogging. I didn't know where I was going, right?
Right.
Tommy he got into the Screen Actors Guild
Yeah.
by financing his own commercial for his
There you go. That's
denim
a pro,
outlet
you
called
see?
Street Fashions, right?
Yeah.
It goes, he's got like a Renaissance hat on, and he goes, to be or not to be? That is the question. Come
That's
to Street
correct.
Fashions, 555 Beach Street. I was jogging, and I had no idea where I was going. I ended up at 555 Beach Street. I look up, there's a big poster of Tommy in the room. I realized I was at the place, right?
Yeah.
I
But
tried
that's
to
what
go
everything
into Street
starts.
Fashions. It's not even there. How
We're
are you selling
closed.
$6 million
We're
worth of
closed. We're
things?
close. Ask Greg.
Listen.
I mean,
to me.
I don't get
Tommy,
you
there's so
guys.
many mysteries. Let me
Yeah.
let me ask you
I'm
this.
writing a book about it.
Okay, when
The
you
same
were-
like you did, actually.
Yes.
I like your book.
When you were a little boy,
Yes.
growing up, God knows where, on Mars, I don't know, wherever you're
Yeah,
from.
but thank you.
Your parents, were they good to you?
Partially, yeah.
Did they love you?
Yeah.
They did. Did your parents get to see any of your
lost
work?
the thing.
Did your,
Yeah,
what'd you
his
get?
headphones aren't
can't
working.
hear
You lost your headphones? You're not missing anything. Don't worry. Yeah, Gary, fix the headphones, will you? I'm in the middle of talking. You know,
Your
James.
mic is on there too, James.
Yeah,
so
you know,
need
James,
it.
you always try to make it about you.
Were we
unplug
spending
that.
too much time with Tommy?
Yeah, is that the problem?
Yeah, probably.
Does he have a mic on there? Okay, put the microphone on, please. Help me out here. Or Tommy, what I'm trying to say,
Sure.
when you were a little boy,
Mm-hmm.
and then you make your own movie, does your mother and are they proud of you? Your mother and father?
Yeah, my dad passed away a long time ago, but
Right.
my mom, she's still around.
Oh.
Yes.
And she actually saw the movie.
She saw the
And
movie.
also she saw the neighbors as well.
Right.
Because
Did your mother see the movie and yell at you and say
She saw the room.
Yeah, she saw the
Yeah.
room. And
Yeah.
was she upset that you had spent $6 million on this movie?
Well, she say about the, we call love scene, but people say sex scene,
Yes.
And she's much more conservative. So she was just like, oh,
But there
okay,
were
what is the heck
Not
is
just
this?
one love scene, there are many love scenes in the first 30 minutes of the movie.
You see, he's jumping. He's taking over.
He takes over. Did your mother try to discourage you from making the movie and say, listen, Tommy, you could take the $6 million and live on it and you'll be a happy man?
No, but keep in mind the $60 million cost was because I changed the crew 4 times.
I see.
That's number one.
They weren't good enough?
No.
No.
It was conflict of interest. Let's put it this way. Be nice, okay?
Okay.
And now
Conflict of interest.
Also, we use
What, they're running for president? Conflict of interest. James, explain that to me. What does he mean?
Wait a minute. 2 cameras also.
Seth plays a character, the script supervisor, Sandy Sklar.
I don't care about scripts, but the fact is that
He doesn't care.
I don't care.
You
Well, that-
fired the crew?
That guy
We
claims,
did.
Yeah.
this guy, Sandy, claims that he was
But
the
why?
real director of the room.
Why even doing the time? That's ridiculous.
When you made The Room and you had a love scene, do you get a full erection or not?
Oh, God.
Are you professional?
Tommy, careful.
I'll be honest with you. We
Yeah.
are very professional on the set.
But you
and-
got aroused.
But I
No,
heard
I
that
did
you
not.
directed that scene almost fully nude when you were directing the.
Well, you know what happened?
You
I
walked around the
I
set.
have a problem with the in the front, like you sort of put the sack, whatever you put it.
In my movie, we do a recreation of the behind the scenes of one of the love scenes,
Yeah.
and the legends were that you directed wearing a cocksock.
Yes.
Yeah,
Of course he did. He's
but
a
you didn't
gentleman.
put a robe. But you didn't put a robe on.
The thing is that it's very difficult to do the scene.
You have a big cock, I guess.
Well, it's my business, is it?
Well, not really. Now you've opened yourself up to the world. Are you worried about that? Seriously, people are going to be poking around into your past now. Now that James is making it right.
Especially since you've made it so mysterious.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I'm very proud of myself, what I did. I'm a very legit person. I never use the drugs. I don't sell the drugs.
Right.
Long story short, he's joking about my business.
Right.
But
drugs.
I
You never tried drugs in all your
I
history?
never sold the drugs.
I'm drinking right now the Red Bull. That's drug. That's
Right.
my drug.
No, but you never smoked pot in your life?
Well, people try all kind of different stuff when you go to school.
What about you?
It's a situation, you may say that.
You
to
had
be
weed?
honest.
Have you ever tried hash oil? What about acid? You ever try it?
You good.
Yeah. You've tried acid, no?
I didn't say that.
Heroin?
You said it.
Why do
Coke?
you wear these glasses all the time?
Yeah,
So
why?
I feel like it.
You wear them when you watch movies.
Sometimes, yeah.
You wear dark sunglasses when you watch movies?
It's not
You
dark.
wore them when
actually,
you
it's
watch
pretty-
my movie.
Let me see your face. Oh, well, you're much more handsome without those
Oh,
glasses.
thank you.
All right, put them back on, please.
Okay, I will.
No, but you
You
look
don't
great.
like it in my face.
No, I like it very much.
problem.
What about your personal life now? Do you have a woman in your life? Or?
Yeah, I actually have a girl, but let me.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
second.
know that?
Slow up.
You didn't know a lot of stuff about me.
Did you meet her and ask her out for coffee and then realize?
Was it in a parking garage?
Was it in the parking garage?
No, it was not.
so shady when you say it back.
But you met a woman, and are you afraid that now she's with you because James Franco is making a movie of your life?
Yeah, that's a conflict. Yeah,
It
a
is,
little
right?
bit.
Did
But
you ever say to her, "How do I know you really love me"?
actually, I say similar stuff, not quite the way you phrase it.
James, have you ever met this woman?
No, I didn't even know about this woman.
Do you have
amazing.
A little
kids?
bit, not yet.
Not
You're
yet.
thinking of having children?
Yeah.
No
why not?
kidding. Yeah.
Is
Well,
her
listen,
name Raul?
I'm not telling you.
What are you implying, James?
He applied or something else.
What, that you're gay? Is that what you're saying, James?
Yeah, he applied.
No, he has a. No, I'm teasing.
Have you
him.
ever
I-
had
I-
gay sex?
I-
I'm teasing him. He has a friend. named Raul
I
who's
stop you right
always
now.
around.
I'm Catholic. Number
I haven't
one.
met this woman, but I've met Raul. That's why I'm teasing.
Please let Tommy finish his discourse.
My God, we should have a separate interview.
Yeah, of course. James gets in the way. Tommy, Tommy, what is this? Why does James think you're with a man? What is that about? And no
I have
shame in that.
no idea.
But you say you're Catholic. You would
Yes.
never partake in
well, first
gay
of all, I'm
sex.
Catholic. Since you guys want to know something new about me,
Yes.
and again, I'm very proud to be American. Number three, I create the room on the idea that I say, okay, let's just do something different. And I did lots of research, like the Hollywood typical situation. You pitching the script. I never done it that.
Well, what happened to the question about whether there was ever gay sex?
What does it have to do with me?
Now, let me ask you something. Wouldn't it be fun if James, I'll ask you a question, you answer, and then James answers as you too, okay? Here we
Sure,
go.
no problem.
Let's compare accents. Let's see how good an actor James really is.
But can I suggest something? Let him do first because you see my accent changed.
James?
What you mean accent change?
Yeah, it has been changed since you.
What?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't.
I
think
feel
so.
that way.
I don't think accent ever changed.
How close was?
I like this. I like the two. You know what? I'm going to butt out. You two have a conversation. Ask him something as himself.
Tommy, what you think of movie Disaster Artist?
Oh, Disaster Artist, I like it.
Yeah, what's your favorite scene?
I was watching already 3 times, and then my favorite scene Actually, I have two. Can I have two scenes?
Yeah, you have to. Go ahead.
This is really good. I like that.
First scene, I like the swimming pool scene with your brother.
Swimming pool scene, not crazy. You're not even in that scene.
I am not.
That Greg talking to girlfriend about IMDb.
But I'll be honest with you guys. The second scene, I like actually this is my between first and it's like 50-50. When you are as a James, as a Tommy, very emotional. The time the people already saw the room, etc.
Yeah.
And you think that it's a completely flat. Basically, it doesn't go anywhere.
What you talking? I don't even know what you're saying right
you
now.
don't know that scene.
Okay, you don't know.
Hey, James, yell at him for being incoherent.
Be
Go ahead.
clear,
Incoherent.
express yourself.
Anyway, long story short.
No, here's my question. I've heard you've criticized the movie's lighting. You don't like how they lit the movie. Is that true?
Well,
Because he wearing glasses in movie.
Is that true? Could
Looks
it be?
very dark
No,
to him.
actually,
Movie
Yeah,
look
you
dark.
say you approve 99.9%, 1%.
You know what?
You don't like the lighting in beginning of movie.
You know why I like the way you talk? I fucking hate all these extra words. I love that you cut words out of it.
Well, sometimes you have
Save
to.
time.
You don't have time.
Save time, right?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
But I do actually approve 99.9%. And
Yeah,
1%
that's
is
true.
because he doesn't know how to fly. I mean, to play football.
No, that's not
all
what he
he's
said to
saying.
me.
Does James not know how to light a movie? Is that
I have no idea.
right?
That my cinematographer, Brandon Trust. I tell him to watch The Room for
Yeah, but you guys have
guidance
to,
in lighting.
Yeah, but your guys actually, I'm not here to criticize anyone, but if you have a lighting, right, like this studio here, right?
Yeah.
Nice lighting.
So yeah, beautiful.
There's some light.
yeah,
Yeah.
you go.
No one's ever commented on it.
Right.
Thank
now
you.
I'll be commenting there.
Thank you very much.
And you have very bright. That's
So
the-
you approve of the lighting in here, just not my movie.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, they did a good
What
job
are you
in the
saying?
What I'm
You
saying,
are criticizing his lighting.
his lighting.
Yeah, and he's a professor of film somewhere,
Yeah.
and
Well,
he don't
may
even
be
know how to light.
professor, doesn't mean anything.
He know even not
I just-
exactly. He know not even
know
know
it
how to
does.
light.
I have to say though,
He's good.
we
He-
light my movie, not intending people to wear glasses to wear
Why
shades
not?
when they
It's a
watch
free
the movie.
country.
Why don't you take glasses off for movie when you
Yeah.
watch it?
I love it. Watch with the glasses. What's wrong with that?
You've already seen the movie 3 times.
Yeah.
You'll probably watch it like 50 times. I mean, this. Could you ever imagine
No, I
they make
saw
a
it.
movie of life?
I think he did
You
good.
were expecting somebody to make movie out your life, no?
You interrupt me again. My
Okay,
God.
go ahead.
So annoying.
Yeah, it is actually.
My God.
Let me finish with the lighting. The reason I say that you have this ambience here,
Yes.
something different.
Yes.
And actually, before I came, I should say to your assistant, I say,
Thank you.
you changed the format.
You know
It's
what I like
much
about
more-
Why are we
much
talking
more-
about Howard Stern lighting? It's
Because we're
crazy.
here.
You know why I like him? You know why I like you, Tommy? Because like you got an opinion about everything.
I
You know?
do actually. We should have. No?
Let's all laugh as Tommy. I'm going to go first.
But
You've got it down.
I would tell you one thing. He did a good job. That's about it. I'm not to just praise you.
I have Wiseau's.
On the end of the day,
He did a good job.
he
I have
did a
TW
good
seal.
job.
Let's not make head too big by
Right,
telling how
right,
good
right,
he is.
right.
But it is exciting.
But is he the better director or are you the better director?
Oh, that is
I just
question.
rest my case. That you
Rest my
decide.
Yeah, watch the movie.
Watch the movie,
Watch
yeah.
movie.
That's my case.
Well,
Yeah.
we've learned that you will go to the Academy Awards if
Absolutely.
the movie is nominated and stuff. And we've learned that you have a girlfriend, which is all new information.
That was a surprise.
That is new news.
And are you political at all, Tommy? Do you ever comment on President Trump? Or, I'm just curious.
I could be.
What would you say about this? Did you vote in the last election?
Is America great again?
Yeah.
I would tell
And
you
can
what.
you run for president?
He can't. He was
He
born
can't.
in
He
another-
said he wasn't born here.
We change the rules someday.
Okay.
Tommy for president.
Schwarzenegger would change it.
But seriously.
What's your question? I'm sorry.
You almost forget in this room. No one listens to me.
I'm listening to you.
I'm saying to you, do you comment? People are asking you about the room and all that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
curious, as you as a man, do you get political? Because you have many fans.
Yeah, but you see, I always say we actors, as a general speaking, we should be neutral. However, I will respond to your question since
Thank
you
you.
want me to.
Thank you.
What's your question?
The question is, did you vote for Trump? He's not, he wants to build a wall, ostensibly keep you out.
Keep you out. I'm American.
Of course.
He doesn't have to
I'm
keep
just
me
joking.
out.
Yes.
No
No,
problem.
seriously, are you for Trump or are you more
It's not
liberal?
a question about Trump. I think we should create a better tomorrow. America is one of the strongest countries in the world. Speaking about the room, I created
Back to the room.
Everything relates back to the room. What are you talking about?
as the American.
Hello?
you see,
Room very political.
it is very political because you can express yourself.
Tommy, isn't it crazy? You made The Room, and now
Yeah.
everyone's saying, "Oh, Tommy's not a good filmmaker." Will you ever make another movie to prove that you are a good filmmaker?
I love this. I like your statement.
Go ahead.
If you're a girl, I will kiss you, but you're not the girl.
You make jokes. Yeah.
But you said you are an actor, so are you still working as an actor?
Yes, I am.
Maybe kiss Howard anyway.
we actually, as a friendly kiss, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. Are you working as?
I am working right now currently create the second episode, The Neighbors.
Yes.
We actually was in Hulu. And long story short, yes,
This television show he make.
Yeah. I'm working on new project, vampire movie, as well as the
Vampire movie. What about this
The other-
movie, American Stud, you talk about?
American Style. Yeah, we may do that.
What A-list actors would you want for your movie if you can have your druthers?
Well,
Johnny Depp.
well, it's not a question of working on Johnny Depp. I mean, you have many people who are there.
Who do you like these days as an actor? Who would you tap since you're a director as well?
I will actually, Anthony Hopkins, I like him.
Anthony Hopkins.
Okay.
And tell me how you get this style.
What
This
style?
Johnny
You mean
Depp?
his clothes?
Yeah.
Are you host now? You took over
Yeah.
his job?
I like when he talks as you.
Okay, no
How you
problem.
get style? Johnny Depp style?
Yeah.
No, I'm doing
This
my
is
own
long
style.
before Johnny Depp.
Okay, all what you see here is 80% designed by me.
80%.
And you can go to
80%.
Where's the other
TommyWiseau.com.
20? Who did
20
that?
What is
Tommy,
20%?
I want to make a statement here, and I want you to be as honest as you possibly
Sure,
can be,
go
and
for
even
it.
though he's sitting on the couch.
No problem.
I get the real sense that James Franco really annoys the shit out of you. Am I correct?
A little bit, that's correct.
Come
yeah.
on, Tommy.
Have you ever confronted him and said, could you fucking lighten up? I'm not an asshole.
No, it's not a question that I think that he can express himself, and sometimes you have to give people space. I call space,
Yes.
and sometimes people became a little full.
Is
of
he
themselves.
full of himself?
I think
he
right now,
tries to
yes.
act like. No, James Franco is a good-looking, top-notch
Yes,
actor,
he
and
is.
he's gotten used to goofing on people, and
Right.
he's making fun of you, isn't he?
Right.
Tell him.
He
Because,
does.
Do you do an impression of James?
Tommy, I like you. That's why.
I like you too. I love you too.
Does he? Do you do an impression of James?
I could do.
Yeah,
actually.
Let's see that one.
Take your best acting shot.
Do it.
Shit.
Go ahead.
Let's both be James now.
Let him prepare.
I used to be a teacher. I'm not a teacher anymore.
You sound like him. You should do a movie of him.
Let the audience decide. Was that James or Tom?
I got confused. All right, look.
That's amazing.
This is a crazy situation.
It is.
The movie The Room was made by you several
Yes.
years ago. The movie becomes
14 years ago, yeah.
14 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And then there's a book about the movie. James reads the book. And now James today is here to say, go see The Disaster Artist. This is a crazy story of a man who put up $6 million to make a movie that was considered the worst movie ever made. And now James Franco, the acclaimed actor, is playing you, Tommy. And God bless you. Congratulations on this great accomplishment.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And you like the movie? You like the movie?
Yes,
It's fun.
very much.
It's a fun movie.
You did a good job. You did a great job.
Tommy's a fun guy.
No,
Tommy,
thank you.
you're a fun
Yeah.
Great
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
I think it's an inspiring story.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
don't need to know The Room to see it. It's just like it's a story about dreamers.
And everyone will now be fascinated with it. Tommy, give the audience something they've never had, a piece of information. I'm going to ask you a question. You answer honestly.
Sure.
How old were you when you first had sex?
I would say 17.
17.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how old was,
So-
I assume it was a woman.
Was
yes.
that
Yeah,
like
was
the
that- was
year
like
before?
10 years ago?
The year before the
was a
room was
girl.
made.
That's right.
Stop it.
According to your ID, it was a year
Yeah.
before the room was made.
But let
Have
me
you
say-
ever experienced a threesome?
Yes.
You have.
Ooh,
Oh my
Tommy.
God,
Tommy,
Tommy.
careful.
Jesus.
Oh, be careful.
How you get two women?
I cannot tell you.
No, it's a secret. All right.
Go to see The Room.
Have you ever made love to a famous actress?
Yes.
Really?
hmm
A-list?
Yes, but I cannot tell you.
She's been in. Is she an Academy Award actress?
I think she was nominated. I
No
don't remember
shit.
now.
James,
Wow. I didn't know this before I made the movie.
I'm going to ask you
He
a
would have
name.
put that
You don't
in.
know a lot
Is
stuff.
it Halle Berry?
I cannot tell you anything.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
I'm just going to come up with names.
you just come out as you go.
Is it Angelina Jolie?
Move on. Next
Gwyneth
question.
Paltrow? Kate Winslet? Well, let me tell you, we've learned nothing.
Well, we
James,
learn a lot still. I mean, I support his project. I think everybody should see Disaster Artist.
Of course you
as
do.
well as The Room. And you know what? I challenge Hollywood right now. I'm here to direct any movie, feature movie, whatever.
I would-
You're
I-
challenging Hollywood
Challenge.
to
Yes,
hire you.
challenge.
He has laid it down.
Who are you exactly challenging?
I challenge the industry right now because you may laugh, right?
Right.
But we've been screening The Room for the past 14 years, number one.
That's true.
Number two, everything you'll see within The Room's original material, the same like Disaster Artist.
Yes.
So people don't understand, but long story short, again,
How much money have you made from The Room? Did it make back its $6 million?
yes, it did.
And then some. You made a profit.
Yeah, well, keep
But
in
then
mind
maybe
what
you
he's-
spend too
wait
much
a minute,
money
wait,
on your
wait a minute.
underwear, making underwear.
Wait a minute. Let me correct this here.
Yeah,
okay?
James. Can you shut the
I have
fuck
to.
up?
I could use my little authority here
Good.
of this guy here.
Yeah.
So keep in mind when James started doing Disaster Artists, The Room been very successful
Yeah.
Yes.
all over the world.
Yeah.
From Australia to Canada, name it London.
Right.
And,
They love it in London.
Yeah, and
They do.
they do.
He's very sarcastic.
yeah,
isn't
he
he?
is.
Would you work with Mel Gibson,
Absolutely.
even though
He's
he
cool guy.
expressed anti-Semitism?
Well, let me see. Everybody make mistake. I think that's the mistakes what he
You
made.
forgive Mel Gibson.
I think everybody should. I think he's.
Would you
good
work
act-
with Kevin Spacey?
No, rest my case.
Rest of your case,
Yeah,
yes.
I don't think. Again, we
So
go
if Spacey says, I'll be in your movie, you say no. You reject him, right?
Actually, yeah.
And you will not make a film for Harvey Weinstein.
No, I don't
No
think
way.
so.
Yeah.
You go into politics
Yeah.
again.
Well, it's interesting how this James Franco is riding your coattails right to
Yeah.
the Oscars, but it's fantastic.
I like it. Yeah.
Wouldn't it
so-
be great if you guys are you guys friends at all outside of the like
Yeah,
you
we're
hang-
little
hung
friends.
out.
I think we're little friends.
I love
Today
that time.
we have a schedule. Remember,
oh, yeah.
Oh, what's
he
the
wants to
schedule?
take a walk
I'm
with
not
me.
telling you.
he wants to walk with you and said, "Are you
I
going to
don't
walk
know. We've
with
been
him?"
planning it for weeks now.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
Call the paparazzi on that. That
No.
would fucking yes, it would be great. You
we don't
too?
want to.
Do you have a disguise when you? Because you're so you have
I
such a
do actually.
Yeah.
I have a hard time actually.
Yeah.
Let's have in Los Angeles. I
Well,
mean,
there's a
do you
famous
guys-
scene.
James, you
There's
guys
a famous scene in the movie The Room where he walks into a flower shop and she says,
I don't
"Oh, no." She says, "Johnny, I didn't know it was you." And it's like, who doesn't recognize this guy?
You're going to go walking today, the two of you in Central Park. I
That's
wonder.
That's
that's what we're
Tommy's
supposed
request.
to do.
Wouldn't it be
Tommy's
nice
request.
if you guys became roommates? If you moved in together?
I don't think we're roommates.
Probably not going to happen.
Will not happen.
well-
I'm a very spoiled kid.
Yes. Well, this is a fascinating story. It really is. And we look forward, all of us, to going to see, I've seen it, it's great, the movie by James Franco, The Disaster Artist.
Yes.
The story of Tom.